Ever since my teenage years, nothing had ever felt right to me. Sure, I had friends and family, and it was easy to talk to people. But deep down, I knew something was wrong with me. But hey, I could always push that feeling aside, as the structure of school kept me in line, following the path. In 2025, I graduated from university with a first-class degree in accounting and finance. Everything was looking up. Except it wasn't. Job applications became a pastime, with every moment out of education and employment feeling worse and worse. And then you go through hours of tedious testing of familiar psychometric tests just to get stonewalled at every opportunity with, unfortunately, you have been unsuccessful on this occasion. And on the few occasions you do move on to the next stage, you are greeted by an AI interviewer. You open LinkedIn every day seeing people that you knew and people you didn't know, landing industry roles and moving on to the next stage in their life. But hey, it's okay, if they can do it, so can I. Right? The initial piece of unemployment was nice. At this point, I'd been running at 100 miles per hour for my whole life, looking for distraction after distraction. But how long can you stay distracted for? That feeling that I felt in my teenage years, that I knew was always there lurking just underneath the surface. It came back and it kicked my ass. The fable, The Frog and the Ox, follows a story about a small frog seeing an enormous ox and becoming jealous of its size. In wanting to be just as big, it puffs itself up and asks the other frogs, "Am I as big as the ox yet?" When the other frogs reply no, the frog continues to inflate itself more and more until it bursts. It is human nature to compare yourself to other people. And when my mind was no longer occupied for an extended period of time, I found myself slipping and becoming a worse version of myself. I couldn't find joy in the things that I used to enjoy. And when I turned 22 in April, I found myself in Greece, reflecting on my year and wondering what I truly had achieved. I failed my driving test and had to wait another 6 months for another test. And I still hadn't landed a job. Meanwhile, I had friends that were doing all of these things successfully. So what was I doing wrong? Nihilism. The philosophical belief that life, the universe, and existence are entirely without inherent meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value. My whole life I have struggled with motivation and finding joy in the little things. My way of thinking has always been incredibly nihilistic, with repetitive thoughts like, nothing matters and then we're dead. And what's the point in doing this? With so much injustice and negativity in the world, I found it hard to think otherwise. Without realizing it, extended exposure to this belief system indoctrinated me with nihilistic beliefs. One of the major popularizers of nihilism philosophy, Friedrich Nietzsche, dubs nihilism as a crisis of meaning, and that he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow, essentially meaning the absence of purpose makes suffering much harder to endure. Nietzsche's career-defining line, "God is dead," challenged the notion that traditional religious and moral foundations were losing power in modern society, and once those foundations collapse, people may experience nihilism. Keep in mind, Nietzsche was an active philosopher in the 19th century. Fast forward to present day, atheism is at an all-time high and statistics surrounding depression and existentialism have peaked. At its core, nihilism may seem like quite a negative perspective on living. However, Nietzsche categorized nihilism to be either active or passive. Essentially, take the statement, "nothing has objective meaning." An active nihilist would respond, "So I must create meaning." a passive nihilist would respond, so I should give up. Nietzsche feared passive nihilism and would highlight the dangers of falling into this way of thinking throughout his life. Somebody that I have a deep admiration for is Tommy Innit. The main reason I like him so much is because we are the same age and he has openly admitted to his struggles with mental health, and despite this, he has overcome adversity and continues to live his best life. Obviously, growing up in the spotlight is incredibly different, but he could have easily shelled out years of generic content and stayed in his comfort zone, but he was willing to sacrifice guaranteed financial safety and re-establish himself as a stand-up comic, driven purely by passion. Despite dealing with so much hardship in recent history, Tommy has managed to come through it all and create some of the most thought-provoking content I've seen on YouTube in recent memory. Not you. In particular, Tommy opening up about his battle with depression was something that I found very powerful, and it helped me understand my feelings, and that there are so many 22-year-olds going through similar uncertainties in their lives right now. From all the grown-ups in your life, you'll always hear tales about how they wish they knew they were in the golden age, and how you should always make the most of your teenage years. German philosopher Martin Heidegger describes this urge to return to the past as having the desire to escape the overwhelming responsibility of defining yourself. When you're in school, you get to follow a curriculum every day for the next decade of your life, and your greatest concern becomes, what's the cafeteria serving for lunch today? The possibilities of growth are truly endless. However, when you grow up, everything becomes a bit more linear. Those endless pathways are now narrowed down, and now you have to decide a career that you're not entirely sure you'll like in 1 year's time, let alone the rest of your life. Every single step is now uncertain. Jean-Jacques Rousseau popularized the power and influence of nostalgia on everyday life. Rousseau argues that initially human beings are innocent and peaceful, and society introduces concepts such as comparison, vanity, and corruption. The power of nostalgia is all over your life, whether you realize it or not. There is a reason you have a favourite show, a comfort show, that for some reason you always find yourself returning to. The show that reminds you of a better time in your life. When you experienced Ross saying Rachel at the altar for the first time. When you experienced Michael's proposal to Holly. Rousseau argues that this sense of longing to return to the past is based on the innate drive to be a more authentic version of yourself. Something that you can only truly experience as a memory. And it's why you see so many adults reflecting on their youth as the best time of their lives. The reality is, being an adult is scary. It's unpredictable. It's anxiety-inducing. It's stressful. You should be job hunting. You should know what you want to do. You should be successful. You should know who you are. But you don't know who you are, and that's okay. This is an incredibly difficult period of life, and it may seem like nothing feels right for you right now, but that doesn't mean it will stay like this forever. You just haven't found the right piece to the puzzle yet. It's a time for experimentation, travelling, and trying out new things. Others around you may be in a different position to you, but that's okay. I guarantee their lives aren't perfect either. Just because you are having an identity crisis and you're asking questions about your future and how you should approach tomorrow, it doesn't mean it has to define you. Feeling anxious about what comes next is normal. And as Rousseau explained, that urgency to return to the comfort of the past is human nature. But no matter what, we need to keep trying, and eventually that puzzle might start looking a bit fuller. The reality is that comparison is the death of individuality, and if you spend so long comparing yourself to others, you will lose sight of yourself. So slow down. I'm not entirely sure how to end this video, because I'm still writing my story and figuring out what I want to do next. I made this video because I'm mentally burnt out, and I wanted to put pen to paper and verbalize everything that I have been going through. My whole life, I have struggled with body image. In secondary school, people around me would call me skinny and weak, and every time a gossiping auntie would come around my house, I would always overhear conversations regarding my physique. It took a lot of effort and mental fortitude to go to the gym and bulk up, and after a while I could comfortably say that I was happy with my weight. But recently, all these issues and pressures built up on my mind, and it made me lose my appetite. I had lost 5 kilograms in 1 month. It was at this point that I knew that I needed to speak to a professional. I went to see my GP to talk about depression, and it was probably the scariest, but also the rawest conversation I had ever had with a stranger. But you know what the best thing was? I felt so light afterwards. My appetite had returned to me, and that day I was able to eat so much more than I had eaten the entire week. My doctor prescribed me with antidepressants, and of course I still have my moments, but right now I feel in a much healthier headspace. I'm going to start practicing what I preach and try to change my outlook on life. The truth is that I owe everything to my friends. If it wasn't for them always sticking by my side and always being willing to lend an ear when I needed help, I wouldn't know what to do. It's a cliche, but my biggest piece of advice is to talk to somebody. Whether that be your friends, your family, or even your doctor. There will always be somebody willing to listen. So hey, chin up, because life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards.